They're gonna chip away at you so that the people who love you start seeing you as the bad guy. They're gonna isolate you from your friends, your positive support system, from the people who cheer you on, even if it's just on social media. And all of a sudden, they are your only source of validation. And the most dangerous person on the planet is a narcissist who's isolated you enough that they are the only source of validation you have. They're going to take it as an opportunity to further break you and make you feel like everybody hates you and see you have no friends and people don't respect you anymore and you're a hypocrite and you're this and you're that. You don't live by the things that you say you live by because you're accepting what I'm putting you through. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Beyond Words with me, Najwa Zebian. I've always been a firm believer in the power of words to heal what they didn't break and to break what they had no right in breaking. Today's episode is all about narcissism. One question that I hear people say a lot is, why do I keep attracting narcissists? Like, is there something wrong with me? We're going to talk about that this episode. I want you to think about a really beautiful flower. It's going to attract a whole lot of bugs. It's going to attract a whole lot of little creatures. It doesn't mean that it deserved that all these creatures come to it. It just is a symbol of how beautiful it actually is. And that's what I need you to think about yourself. There is something about you that makes people in general want to be around you. But you are a treasure for a narcissist. Why? Because you have everything that they don't have but want. You are authentic. They're the fakest people on the planet. Why? Because they are not comfortable projecting their true self to the world because they know how ugly it is. They know how self-centered it is. They know how it pushes people away. And it could be true that someone could love them through all of that, but they don't believe that they deserve to be loved for all of that. They kind of despise themselves for that ugliness that they have, which explains a lot of the projection that they do onto other people. They try to paint you as an ugly person because they see themselves that way at their core. And yes, narcissism is about being self-centered and it is about having this grandiose image of who they are. But deep down, it's because they hate themselves so much. They despise the truth of who they are so much. And as a way to punish you for getting close enough to them, they try to paint you with the ugliness they see in themselves. They're liars. They accuse you of being a liar. They're cheaters. They accuse you of being a cheater. They use people. They accuse you of using people. This is called projection. They project onto you the way they see themselves. And what ends up happening? You spend days, weeks, months, years of your life trying to prove to them that you're not the person they're painting you as. And what does that end up doing to you? It wastes your energy. It wastes your youth. It wastes your passion. It wastes your will to live a joyful life because you're so consumed in trying to prove to someone who will never see you for who you are, that you are actually who you are. They're happy that you're doing this, and you're wasting years of your life trying to find the cure in the poison. And you know that that's never going to happen. A snake that bit you isn't going to be the doctor that heals you. A snake that bit you isn't going to come and take that venom out. A narcissist's job in your life is to break you down, to project the worst image possible on you, to distort your reality, to distort your clarity, to put you beneath their feet. Because remember, when they first met you, they put you up on this pedestal. And then out of the blue, they took that pedestal away and you fell crashing to the ground into pieces. And now they can look down upon you and say, you're not the amazing person I met. You're not as great as you used to be. I'm better than you now. So I'm going to keep stomping all over you to feel better about myself, and then I'm going to move on to somebody else. Because the goal was never to get you. The goal was always to get what you represent. If they could get something so great, if they could get someone so great, they would feel so powerful, so capable, so worthy. Because remember, they don't feel that way about themselves to begin with. And then what do they have to do to not be intimidated by your greatness? To not be crushed by how amazing and incredible you are? To not be threatened by how authentic you are? They break you. So they can prove to themselves that you're not that great to begin with. You're not that much better than them to begin with. It's all a self-serving prophecy for them. And that's why they just go through this world. Narcissists go through this world destroying everyone that crosses their path, that dares to get close enough, even when they beg you to get close enough to them. Their seeking of you is simply so that they could combat that deficit that they feel they have within. And you pour your whole self into them, only to realize they have holes at the bottom. They can't contain you. They're only going to drain you. That's actually what happens. Actually, it's what happens, not just emotionally, not just figuratively, but literally. They drain the life out of you. Have you seen someone who was in a narcissistic relationship and then they got out, and the glow up they have just in the way that they look so at peace? But when they were with that narcissist, you could see the look of darkness and depression on their face. You could see that their joy was no longer there. It's visible. And I would hate for you to let one more person do that to you. You deserve to live a life that is surrounded with people who are willing to hold you as you are. You deserve to live a life where the people in your circle are happy for your happiness and they celebrate you, and they don't take every little thing you say as a reason to accuse you of being full of yourself and being selfish and being a smarty pants and being this and being that. They love to see you win. A narcissist loves to see you lose. And it's not just that they love to see you lose. They prove to themselves that you're not as great as they saw you at the beginning because they've witnessed you lose. But the truth is, we're all humans. We all lose sometimes. We all win sometimes. It doesn't mean that you're fundamentally unworthy if you mess up, but to a narcissist, you are. You need to be perfect. But what does perfect mean? I don't know. Some days it's up here. Some days it's up here. Some days it's you can't even see it, and they'll never make it clear to you. And you'll just keep working hard and hard and hard and hard until you realize that really, the bar is just there as an imaginary thing. Nothing ever satisfies them. And if something doesn't bother them today, it'll bother them tomorrow. And I'll remind you of something I said in the last episode on gaslighting. Some people only hate you simply because you exist as you are. Simply because you haven't allowed their destruction of you to keep you destroyed on the floor. Because you have the ability to get yourself back up. Because you have hope. Because you have life in you. A narcissist hates you because you have life in you. Because they don't have life in them. Everything that they derive about themselves, about their value, about their worth is about how capable they are of getting people to supply for them the things that they need. The love, the adoration, the services, the doing everything that they want done, being their servant in some way. And sometimes the only purpose you serve is arm candy. You make them look good because people know how great you are. And if you've decided to be with someone like them, then people are going to see them as good by association. Maybe that's it. I want to talk about 4 reasons why you might be the perfect bait for a narcissist, the perfect target for them. And this is not to say be the complete opposite of this or pretend to be the complete opposite of this. This is to say this is deep. This goes deeper than the surface. This is deeper than saying, let them do whatever they want to do. And I'm going to pretend like I'm not this person. You need to fundamentally change certain beliefs about yourself. The first belief that you might have that's attracting narcissists to you is you were taught that love has to be earned. What a big slap in the face it is that life gave you this really ugly lesson that love has to be earned, that you have to work hard for people to see you, to value you, to see value in keeping you in their life. You learned this from a very young age. And so when a narcissist walks into your life and senses that, they've just hit the jackpot. Because they need someone in their life who feels like they need to earn their love. They will keep that love as a carrot at the end of a stick, and they will run around with it and make you run around after them. When you finally get that carrot, you'll realize that it's plastic. It has no value whatsoever. Will not nourish you. It's meaningless. But the fact that you were taught to have this inner system that seeks love, that earns love, they play on that pattern. And they get you to work hard to get their love. But if you have to constantly break yourself into pieces for somebody to see you and to see that you deserve their love, is that really love that they're giving you? Or is it just something to keep you hooked to them? And love is not like that. It will take you a long time to learn what healthy love looks like when all you've been used to is the unhealthy, toxic, manipulative, one-way, transactional, convenient version of love. That's all you've been taught. So to have somebody love you without you doing anything for them, excuse me, that exists? You will be shocked that that exists. You'll feel like something's wrong because it goes against your belief system that you need to work hard to feel love, that you need to work hard so that by the end of that hard work, you feel like you've earned their love. Love for who you are does not need to be earned. It's there. The fact that you exist, and I know some people are going to be listening to this saying, oh, here we go again. Another person saying, you deserve love just because you exist. Yes, you deserve love just because you exist. People who talk to you like that are trying to lower your expectations from them and from the other people that are in your life, because if they can witness you getting less, then they will feel so much better about themselves, because they think if they see you suffer, they'll feel better about themselves. And you don't need people like that in your life. You deserve love because you exist, period. When you get into a relationship with someone who loves you with no expectation of what you can or can't do for them, it will be revolutionary for you. And yes, I understand in relationships, you have to divide tasks. You have to do this. You have to do that. You're trying to make each other's lives easier. But when it all falls on you to do the work so that they could give you a little bit of affection or give you a little bit of attention or value you a little bit more, that's a transactional relationship. And it could be extremely toxic for you. And you could end up in a trauma bond with them. And once that bond forms, it's going to be one of the most difficult things for you to end and break. Why? Because it will feel like you're ending your own life. Because in a way you are. When you break a trauma bond, you are ending your own life. You're ending the life that only exists to serve the purpose of getting the love of this person that you're trauma bonded to. And you're starting on a path that says, I don't need to earn anybody's love. I deserve love as I am. For me as a human, for me as somebody who knows the core of who I am, I know what I have to offer this world and everyone in it. The second thing about you that could be attracting narcissists is simply that you have gifts they wish they had. The most toxic gift you have to a narcissist is your authenticity. They cannot handle someone being unapologetically who they are. Why? Because they can't be unapologetically who they are. They've trained every person in their life. For you to stay in my life, you need to live by this rule and that rule, and you need to be shaped this way, and you need to get rid of this thing, and you need to lower your voice, and you need to do this, and you need to do that. And here you are, being truly yourself. You say no when you need to say no. You express your opinion. Oh, this is one of the things that you will notice when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, is that you used to be someone who had opinions about things, and you get to a point where you say, I'd rather keep my mouth shut. Because even if I say, oh my God, the sky is so beautiful today, they'll say to you, you're so dumb for saying that. Like, it's the sky. It's like every other day. What's so beautiful about it? Like, they kill your spirit. So a big reason why you attract, quote unquote, a narcissist is because you have things about you they wish they had, and because they don't have them, they resent you for having them. And so they need to paint those things about you over time as bad. They try to change you. They want to take you whole, right? We did this in the last episode. They want to take you whole, and then they want to start ripping away at you, you know? Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes they won't directly tell you, I don't like the way you dress. But when they see someone dressing the way you dress, they'll say, oh, that's so ugly. I hate that hair color. I hate that hair length. Women should be this way in relationships. Men should be this way in relationships. They start bit by bit ripping away at the things that make you yourself. And you feel those rips, but at first, because they were so small, you couldn't really say, oh, that's terrible, because they were showering you with so much love. You've heard the term love bombing. And honestly, with love bombing, I've experienced it before. And I can tell you, I thought to myself, yes, I am that great. Of course, this person's going to be feeling so lucky that they finally have me in their life. I don't think that's a red flag to receive love bombing, because you don't see it as love bombing. You see it as, yes, I deserve this kind of love. But then it starts going away, and that's how you know it was love bombing. You deserve a love bombing type of love for the rest of your life. Wouldn't that be beautiful? So a narcissist sees you and they see like you believe in love. They don't. You believe in people being there for each other. They don't. And bit by bit, they start attacking your belief system. And they'll start saying things to you like, oh, you think that love should always be like lovey-dovey and blah, blah, blah. Life is really hard and blah, blah, blah. And you start bit by bit, as they're doing this to you, like they're looking at you and they're keeping your attention, but they're still ripping away at you. But I still love you. I'm telling you all those things, but I still love you. There's gonna be positive reinforcement. They're gonna give you a little bit here and there to keep you hooked. But the sad part is that they've trained you over time to feel like a little drop of honey is a whole jar of honey. So they do this little thing for you. Oh, like they went out of their way to get me flowers on this day. The day was your birthday, or it was a big celebration. And, like that's so thoughtful. And that's so, when really it shouldn't feel that amazing to you. But they've normalized to you that they'll never show you love and affection. So when they do, in the littlest, tiniest ways, oh, they looked at me today. We had a great day today, but really it wasn't a great day. It was just a day where you didn't express your opinion about something and you didn't get a reaction out of them. So bit by bit, they're breaking away at these gifts that they see within you. You're somebody that everybody loves. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to chip away at you so that the people who love you start seeing you as the bad guy. They're going to isolate you from your friends, from your family, from your positive support system, from the people who cheer you on, even if it's just on social media. And all of a sudden, they are your only source of validation. And the most dangerous person on the planet is a narcissist who's isolated you enough that they are the only source of validation you have. Because you know what they'll do then? They're not going to love you. They're not going to be happy about that. They're going to take it as an opportunity to further and further break you and make you feel like everybody hates you, and see, you have no friends and people don't respect you anymore, and you're a hypocrite and you're this and you're that. You don't live by the things that you say you live by because you're accepting what I'm putting you through. They start treating you like trash and worse. So now you're left with all of these tiny little pieces. Before you knew it, you're unrecognizable to yourself. But you're still saying to them, every time you reach out and try to make sense of them, every time you apologize, every time you try to get clarity from them, here, can you help me put these back together? If you're watching this on YouTube, you know I'm holding up all the pieces that I cut up, and you're asking the narcissist to take all these pieces that they ripped you into and help you put them back together. You know what they're going to do, like a puzzle. If they decide to help you, they're going to put them in a completely wrong way and tell you, this is who you used to be. Don't do that to yourself. The third reason that you attract narcissists is that you've learned to confuse intensity with intimacy. So you think they came on so strong, they love me so much, that must mean we have something, we're close. Intensity doesn't equal intimacy. The best intimacy is actually the one that's built slowly over time. The one that pays attention to you, the one that's attuned to you, the one that is full of boundaries, and the one that respects your boundaries. Someone who comes on too strong and says, I can't help myself, and I know you have these boundaries in place, but I love you so much that I just want to be so close to you. That's a person who does not respect you as a person. They only think of themselves. And if that person really is a narcissist, that's just a strategy they use. They flood you with so much closeness that you don't have space to breathe and look away and say, this is too much. Like, this is not normal. There's a song by Taylor Swift that I love called All Too Well. And I didn't know this song until the 10-minute version came out. Go watch that video, because there is a part where right at the beginning when these two people get together, and you could tell there's love bombing, there's this intense rush of closeness and emotions, and a question comes up on the screen, and it gave me goosebumps when I saw it. And the question was, are you real? Because I can tell you, if you've ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I would love to be wrong. You have gone through a time where you asked yourself or a friend of yours or them, are you real? Like, this can't be real. It's too good to be true. Because it is too good to be true. It's not real. You've known yourself your whole life, so you know you deserve the love bombing type of love for the rest of your life because you know how great you are. But somebody who's been in your life for weeks or even months, how would they know you well enough to love you that much? Right? Especially after they start doing this to you. It's clear to you that what they gave you was never really love. It wasn't like, oh my God, I can't help myself. It was more, I need my needs to be met, and you're the perfect target. You're so nice. You have a hard time saying no. You believe people when they tell you something. I'm never going to leave you, and I'm crazy about you, and blah, blah, blah. You believe those things. The fourth reason that you might feel like, why do I always attract narcissists, is that you don't give yourself time to heal from the last one. And I get it. The pain of being discarded by a narcissist it makes you feel like you're going crazy. It makes you feel like you're a drug addict who's had their drugs taken away and you just need your hit. Even though on a logical level, you know you shouldn't be hurting that much, but you are. Not because something was wrong with you, but because something wrong was done to you by them. They've gotten you hooked to trying hard and getting their validation, and trying hard and getting their validation, trying really hard and getting their validation. And then at some point, they meet somebody else who can meet their needs more than you can. Or they feel like you've figured them out and they can't really use you anymore. You're worthless to them and they want to move on. So they'll discard you in the most heartless way possible. And instead of you taking that as a sign of, like, as a complete turnoff, you try even harder to get back together with them. And you might change things about yourself. You might make promises that you know you're letting yourself down as you're making those promises, because your goal isn't to get them to be the best person they can be. Your goal is to just get your hit of validation from them. And I understand it's one of the hardest things to talk about the people in your life about this, because you think, oh my God, you're going to think I'm so dumb for wanting the validation of someone who's treated me so badly. Don't surround yourself with people who make you feel that way. There are people out there who will, even if it's in a support group, who will understand the kind of gaslighting, baiting, word salad kind of thing that you just went through. Word salad, by the way, we've never discussed this term before, but since we're talking about narcissism, word salad is when you bring something up that's just, it's very clear cut, very, you did this thing and I felt this way, and Hey, the other night you went out with your friends and I saw pictures on social media and it looked like there was another person with you guys there and whatever. And they will pick at everything you brought up and the way you brought it up and the time you brought it up and the details that came up and how did you find out. Everything except for the thing they did. There's a really popular TikTok trend that I think to this day people recreate it, but it's like having a conversation with a narcissist and saying, hey, I saw that you were at that bar that night with that woman and you bought her a Sprite. And the narcissist will look at you and say, I didn't buy her a Sprite, I bought her a Coke. So word salad is what they put you through when they pinpoint to every other thing in the conversation except for the one that's important. Hey, you did something that's really disrespectful to me. They will twist your words. They will say, oh, you just said that word? And so you become the one who's supposed to defend yourself when they're the ones who made the mistake. And my interpretation of word salad is, with salad, you eat and eat and eat and you never feel full. It's the same thing with that conversation. It's not nutritious. Like, you get nothing out of it. And so narcissists will put you through that. And so part of what attracts them to someone like you is that you're willing to engage in these conversations, not because something's wrong with you, but because a normal human being sits down and says, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Like, why would you do this thing? A narcissist isn't attracted to somebody who has a really detached, black and white, cutthroat approach where it's like, hey, you did this thing, leave. You went out and you cheated or there were signs of infidelity, you're out. They don't want people like that. They want people like that who make exceptions for them. But when they see that someone isn't willing to make those exceptions for them, they hate them. They despise them. The next time you meet a person and the narcissist tells you they hate them, ask yourself, what thing did they call them out on? Because I guarantee you, any person that a narcissist hates, that person called them out on something that they were totally valid in calling them out for. But narcissists love enablers. They love people who make excuses for them. They love people who love to have these long conversations to figure things out, but you're not figuring anything out. They're just diverting you from the truth. They're gaslighting you even more. Do you guys want an episode on word salad? Because if you do, let me know. I'll make one. I have plenty of stories I could share with you. If you're looking for closure, the last person you need to ask for that closure is a narcissist. Because somebody who gave you something that terrible to heal from wants you to suffer for as long as possible. The best revenge, actually, that you can get on a narcissist is to live an amazing life. They want you to believe that you're worthless. They want you to believe that nobody else will love you the way they loved you, air quotes. They want you to believe that you just experienced the best thing you could possibly experience and you screwed it up. So when you move on and stop wanting any answers from them and you find people who love you for who you are, and maybe you don't find people, maybe you love yourself for who you are and you enjoy your life and you go after that dream that you wanted to go after, even if you mess up, but you go after it, they can't stand that. They'll hate you even more. And our goal isn't to let a narcissist suffer. It's just the truth of who they are. That's how they're going to react to you doing well. Why would you want closure from somebody who hates to see you doing well? Why would you want an acknowledgement from someone who hurt you that they hurt you when that someone loves to see you in pain? Why? I know it's hard to hear and you're conflicted between what your mind knows and what your body knows. And that's why I'm going to give you 3 tips. The next time you feel like you want to go to the person who broke you, especially if they were a narcissist, for any form of healing, there are 3 things you can do instead of that. 1, be honest with yourself about what's familiar to you in this relationship. This question is actually going to, it's going to knock you off your feet in a way. Think of the narcissist you have in your life right now, okay? All the ways that they are treating you, blah, blah, blah. Which parent of yours are you currently in a relationship with? Think about that really deeply, because there is something about this person you're with that's very familiar to you. And it could be in their emotional neglect, in their emotional absence. It could be in their daily habits. It could be in the way that they make you feel, like the worth that they make you feel you have or don't have. It could be in, like, when you reflect on your parents or your caring adults when you were younger, the familiarity could be what you witnessed in the way that one parent treated the other. And the other parent made it seem like that's normal. It's okay. I'll accept it. And maybe that's what you're accepting. Be very honest with yourself about what's familiar about this person. Okay? That's a gateway to healing. And in The One Who Broke You Can't Heal You, this will be in the chapter on mending the bond that you have with yourself. So keep that in mind for when you actually get the book and read it. The second tip I have for you, and this is, I went in depth on this in The One Who Broke You Can't Heal You, because this is important. Let people show you who they are slowly and over time, because you really want to get attached to that first version they showed you that loves you so much and respects you so much and will send you messages every day and call you at every moment and get your input on stuff and tell you how much they love you. And that's not slow, and that's not consistent over time. Let people show you who they are over time. How are they going to react when you go through a difficult time? How are they going to react when you're not doing your best? How are they going to react when you don't show up for them with that big positive light that you have? How are they going to show up when they're having a bad time? How are they going to show up when they're angry about something in their life? Let people show you who they are slowly and over time. If you buy a coffee machine and it works amazingly well, and you paid $2,000 for it, the first week is great and everybody's complimenting the coffee, and the second week is great, and the third week is great, and then the fourth week comes and you start noticing that, or maybe let's say it worked really well for 6 or 7 months, but you paid $2,000 for it. Like, this should last you a long time. And it starts breaking up on you. The coffee doesn't taste as great. You have to take it in for maintenance every once in a while, and then it turns into every month, and then it turns into every week, and then it turns into every day. That coffee machine has shown you what its true core is. It wasn't made properly. So with people in our lives, just because that first period was incredible, and over time, their demeanor towards us started changing, and their respect for us started changing, and their admiration of us started changing. That's who they actually are. So let people show you who they are slowly. Don't rush into things. Even if you're in a rush, doesn't mean you drive your car so fast that you might get into an accident. Even if you feel like you're late in your life, go at the speed limit and get there safely. And the third thing I want you to do, instead of reaching out to them, instead of trying to get closure on that story, put it behind you and start actually doing the work that heals you. Start writing down all the things they made you believe about yourself and about love and what healthy love looks like. Because that version it's to break you into little tiny pieces and rip you apart to shreds in a way where you literally cannot, even if you wanted to, put yourself back together. And you lose pieces of yourself along the way. But that's not a sign for you to say, I'm damaged and I'll never ever be who I used to be before. The truth is, you will never, ever, ever go back to the person you were before the thing that broke you. You will never go back to being the person you were before that narcissist came into your life. You will become somebody who overcame so much to get closer and closer to who you are as a person and how much you deserve. They took you as this pure, happy, full of life version of yourself and dimmed that light and broke those pieces. And now you take an active role in yourself, in your life, that says, I will never let anybody do that to me ever again. I will walk away at the first red flag. And yes, walk away at the first red flag. I know there might be people out there who tell you, everybody's flawed and whatever. A red flag is a red flag. And it doesn't matter where you hide it. It doesn't matter how hard you try to say it's not a red flag, it's orange, it's this, it's the lighting, it's a red flag. And red flags exist for a reason. Run the other way. There are plenty of green flags out there, and you are one of them. And if you exist, then someone like you exists. It's time for words from me to you. These words are from The Nectar of Pain. This is an all-time favorite of yours. If you don't have The Nectar of Pain, I mean, I'm sure you do, but if you don't, what are you doing? Like, this is some of the best poetry I've ever written in my life. And it's probably part of the reason why you're listening to me. This poem is titled, To a Narcissist I Once Loved. It's page 239 in The Nectar of Pain. I know that you are waiting for me to break down and contact you. I know that you must be thinking that I am miserable, waiting for you to give me attention. But you see, I am not the person I once was. You destroyed me over and over, but I built myself back up into someone you will never have the honor of getting to know. I understand why you guys love this poem so much. But again, why do you run to the person who broke you? To heal you. You want them to turn around and say, oh, I see all the ways I've hurt you. And what they want is for you on your knees, begging for them to take you back into their life, begging for them to see you as a good person. They know you're a good person. They simply don't care. And actually, part of why they hurt you so much is because you are a good person. So take that and you plant it somewhere in your heart. It's time for words that found me. And these words are by someone that I love and admire so much. I actually interviewed her once, and it was like a dream come true. This quote is by Dr. Ramani, and she has a book called It's Not You. I highly recommend you read it if you've gone through a narcissistic relationship. She says, the narcissist is like a bucket with a hole in the bottom. No matter how much you put in, you can never fill it up. The phrase, I never feel like I am enough, is the mantra of the person in the narcissistic relationship. That's because to your narcissistic partner, you are not. No one is. Nothing is. You know the truth of who they are, and I know knowing it is not enough, but start noticing the things about yourself that you want to work on that will stop these assholes from entering your life, because it's not a joke. They will ruin whatever you allow them to ruin in your life. And I'm not saying it in a victim blaming way. But what I'm saying is the more and more you can become bulletproof to people like that, become useless to a narcissist and see how easily they walk away. Like, that's the best way for you to guarantee that they'll leave you alone. Be nothing to them. Do nothing for them. And you become so easy to be like, fling, you're out of my life. They'll do that to you because they only care about themselves. And if you don't care about them and about what makes them happy anymore, if you don't become the mat that they stomp on and clean their feet on, and if you don't put your back on the floor and say, here, stomp all over me, you're nothing to them. Let this be your forever reminder that a person who's willing to break you is never going to be the one who heals you, whether it's a narcissist or anyone else. And I'm going to remind you to pre-order The One Who Broke You Can't Heal You. If this episode resonated with you, this book will resonate with you. And I'm just going to say it for the millionth time. Pre-orders really help me as an author. It would mean the world to me if you just took that time to hit pre-order. If you're planning on reading the book anyway, just do it from now. If this episode helped you in any way, share it with someone. Leave a comment, leave a review. Give us a hype on YouTube. And I really do. I know I'm exhausted right now. It's because these topics get me so passionate. But I really do hope that this episode helped you find healing beyond words. And I'm going to encourage you this time to take these words and do something with them. Until next time, have a lovely day.